let me just pull stuff up. So this is the usual, here's the usual order of operation. So what I like to do first, and we've kind of fallen into this rhythm as I've started doing these, we start first by looking at the channel, just like if I was a visitor and I happened to come by the channel, and unfortunately you're not online, but that's okay. We get the first impressions of at least the view of you know, the offline section of the channel, and then I read the form that you filled out. And so I have a streamer who does these reviews. They fill out a very short questionnaire about who they are and what they want their community to be. And it gives me a little context for when I dive into the rest of the channel. So it's a really nice way to kind of, one, get a first impression, and then two, like, how do we actually tailor this feedback in a way that could be helpful to the streamer, the content creator, and hopefully it helps them out. So let's dive right in. Scar says, how does one get a stream review? After hearing your story, I'd love to get your business perspective. Yeah, no problem. So Scar, you can either DM me on Twitter, or you can join my Discord, and then opt into the content creation section, which has instructions on how to get a stream review, which is essentially click the link to the form and you fill it out. Either way works for me. The only thing I ask anyone who asks for these stream reviews is, one, that they try to be present during the stream time, and I try to accommodate, but I usually stick to the scheduled time. And then two, the only thing that I'm really going through right now with creating this content, because I love creating this content, but I've had some challenges. The biggest challenge is making sure that I can support a date, like a Monday through Friday stream of this, and most weeks have actually been really fine, but other weeks I've had cancellations and things like that. So I ask people to try and be mindful of, like, hey, when you sign up, can you try not to cancel? But I get it, life happens. And also let your peers know, and your friends, those that you think would benefit from such a thing. So feel free to do those things. And I think we're golden. So either way, do your thing. Send me a DM either on Twitter, or join me on my Discord in the content creation. When you join, you can opt into that. All right, so let's get our first impressions of the channel. We already have MrGn0me pulled up here. I like the color, I like the red. So let's start from top and go on to the bottom. I see the banner, which is excellent. We got a little mushroom guy here. What's really cute is that he's just kind of hanging out in the corner. And this is fantastic. This is great. I love it. Kind of, I see kind of a 8-bit theme going on here. I see your logo, or at least your, you know, your name is right dead center. And this would look awesome on mobile. However, we got a video carousel in the way, and so kind of hard to see that. What I would recommend is, if you want to keep this up here, I would optimize for a computer screen. Most people see this on a computer screen. I would move it up top right here. Unfortunately, you have to do a little you know, massaging of the content to make sure that it fits. And know that it kind of stretches and scales based on window size and the resolution of the person who's looking at it. So you'll never get it 100% correct, but think about it from a 1080p perspective and try to optimize for that. So I would put MrGn0me right up here. Boop. Otherwise, looks great. I like the colors. I like the reds and the whites. It looks good. Okay. So let's go through. Oh, this is good. This is excellent. This makes me so happy. This makes me happy. Hold on. MrGn0me has a channel trailer. You are like the third or maybe fourth person of over 20 reviews that I've done that actually has one before we review it. So let's take a look. Let's watch this, listen to this chat, watch this with me, and have any thoughts ready. Here we go.
Greetings, I am MrGn0me, and this is Sidon. He's one of my cats, and you'll see him a lot on stream. I also play too much Breath of the Wild, and do dumb challenges like beat Breath of the Wild on a potato controller, or in a microwave, or in a mode that's way too hard for me. I do sprinkle in some other games here and there, and I normally stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So check out some of my highlights, and I hope to see you there. It is a cat barfing a cloud. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. That's where clouds come from, by the way. And it wraps around my chest. Nothing at all is wrong. This is completely normal gameplay. Oh my gosh, look at him! Oh my gosh! He's carrying a spear! He's so cute! Oh, yes! We did it! Oh, baby!
Chat, what'd you think of that? What'd you think of that? That was MrGn0me's trailer. So, one, I'm so glad you did a trailer. No one does a trailer. Since they introduced this feature last year, no one, like, I don't know how reflective the numbers are, but I would say about roughly, like, your number, like I said, you're number 4. I think your stream number, like, 20, 20, or 21 that has it. So maybe that, actually, that's not bad. You know, 1 in 5 roughly people got a trailer, but most people don't. People haven't taken advantage of it. The first thing I need to say to everyone who's watching this is make a channel trailer. It's not going to hurt your content. It's only going to help it. Okay, make a channel trailer. It's only a minute. It takes, like, the video itself only a minute, and maybe filming one shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes, and editing one, you know, depending on how good you are at that, a little longer. However, make a channel trailer. Here's why. Because, well, it gives something people can look at when you're offline that gives them a good idea of who you are and what you're about. And if you're going to make a good channel trailer, what you need to do is do actually exactly what MrGn0me did here. Introduce yourself, say who you are, talk about the kind of content you create, and then give them some highlights if you got them. Add some great clips, kind of create a nice highlight reel if you can, and make it under a minute. Let me see. Did I get...
And this is Sidon. He's one of my cats, and you'll see him a lot on stream.
Did I get a schedule from this?
Wild, and do dumb challenges like beat Breath of the Wild on a potato controller, or in a microwave, or in a mode that's way too hard for me. I do sprinkle in some other games here and there, and I normally stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's right. Schedule.
So check out some of my highlights, and I hope to see you there. It is a...
That's fantastic. So schedule too. If you've got a solid schedule, include the schedule. No, MrGn0me says it's hard to think of a good idea for a trailer. I understand. I think depending on where you are with it, like, normally if people don't even have one, I say don't even care too much about, like, trying to do something incredibly fancy. A couple of answers I've gotten in the past when I mentioned that they need to make a trailer is, oh, well, I haven't done anything cool yet, or I really wanted to do something cool for my trailer and I haven't done it. And I would say, that's great. You should do that if you think of a really great idea, or you have a really great idea in mind and something's keeping you from doing it. But what I would consider is just make sure you get one in place, and then you can replace it later. In terms of what you're doing here, I mean, this is a solid, this is a solid way to do it.
I am MrGn0me, and this is Sidon. He's one of my cats, and you'll see him a lot on stream. I also play too much Breath of the Wild, and do dumb challenges like beat Breath of the Wild
What I
on a
would
potato
say
controller,
is it's
or in a
not
microwave, or in a mode that's way too hard for me. I do sprinkle in some other games here and there, and I normally stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So check out some of my highlights, and I hope to see you there. It is a cat barfing a cloud. It's beautiful. It's
love these
gorgeous.
highlights. So what I would
That's
say
where clouds come from, by the way.
what I would say is I really like that you've got these clips, especially showing how you're using this is incredible, using a microwave as a controller. What I would do for a trailer is, even like if you were to ever like do something different with it, the only tweak I would make is I would say, you know, hey, ever watch anyone play Breath of the Wild with a microwave or a potato? And have a little more footage of that at the beginning, maybe the first 5 to 10 seconds, and then you introduce yourself. Otherwise, this is pretty good. Not that it matters too much to me, but there was no music behind you. And sometimes it's nice just to have really light music behind you.
That's way too hard for me.
But that's personal preference. You don't have to do that. That's just me. Otherwise, great. Good job. Good job on the trailer. If were you looking for feedback on that, or was there something you weren't happy with when it came to the trailer itself, MrGn0me? Carbob says cool is the enemy of just having one. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think this is good. This gives us a really great idea of who MrGn0me is and what their content's about. So boom. This is rather excellent. If chat has any other comments on it, let me know. You feel okay with it, but you gave some good ideas. Yeah. And what I always recommend, here's a little tip. When it comes to stuff like this, and when it comes to looking at your channel overall, especially as we look at the other pieces of this page, I would consider always looking back at it every 3 to 6 months, depending on how much things change on your channel and how comfortable you are with it, to come back, especially if maybe your schedule changes, because if your schedule changes, then you'll want to make sure that's reflected in either your trailer or in your schedule widgets that are on your page. But come back and look at this. If it's been a while since you've made this trailer, if this is still not if this is representative of what you're still doing, then great. If it's not, then consider tweaking it. But overall, great job. That gives us a fantastic idea of who you are and what you do. You basically, my takeaway is you play a lot of Breath of the Wild. You do it using weird ways to control the game, and you play it in ways that are not typical, which is pretty fantastic. Like, that establishes a really good story, and it establishes a really good background for you as a creator. So that's good. All right. Continuing on with the first impression. Looking at the rest of your channel, I see that you're pretty active. This is good. We're seeing streams from 3 days ago, 5 days ago, 7 days ago, and so on. So you're still active. That's really good. Categories, I expect to see Breath of the Wild, and there it is. Excellent. And yeah, there's some other games in here. Hyrule Warriors, so brand new release, just came out. Excellent. Seems right in line with what you're doing, because, well, it's a Legend of Zelda game. Or at least a Legend of Zelda themed game, right? We got Just Chatting, we got Visage, we got Among Us. Great, looks good. And then we've got your streamer shelf. You got your streamer shelf. This is good. I always like to remind streamers when I see these streamer shelves full, is as long as these are folks you are totally 100% okay with putting your community in front of them, and I imagine you are. So, but always think about, I guess, to reinforce the thought, right? The philosophy of how we populate our channel with content. This goes from something as simple as our streamer shelf to something more complex and more straightforward as your content, in terms of the things that you put in front of your viewership, your community. You want to be able to say, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want to represent me and my channel and what I'm about. So everything that we talk about today is going to come back to that. Is this something we want to reflect who we are as a creator and reflect what we have as a community and a channel? Yeah, make sure that shelf's updated. Look, I mean, much like anything else, you know, just take a look at it when you're ready. Overall, first impression, it looks like you got your stuff pretty together, so this is good. Let's pull up your questionnaire that I had you fill out when we had you put in for a review. All right. I accidentally closed it. Here we go. You ever pull up a tab and then you go to do something else and you close the something else and then you end up closing the thing that you meant to come back to? Because I do that sometimes and it drives me crazy. All that prep work out the window. There it is. We did it. Okay, so let's go through this. And again, what I like to do is I have the creator just answer a few questions. It's mostly to help me get a little context and you, the viewer, you know, as well, kind of understand where MrGn0me is coming from and what they're about, and kind of the lens in which we can look at this this channel. You do it all the time. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. All right, here we go. So we got MrGn0me. And for those that don't know, here's their URL. It would help if I pasted that correctly. Come on, Amor. There we go. The first question I always ask is, how long have you been streaming? This gives me an idea of how to tailor my feedback. MrGn0me says, I started streaming at the end of Justin TV. I never stuck with it and streamed on and off. I started streaming regularly in August of 2020. Okay, so relatively fresh, which is kind of cool. I like that. Justin TV, that is a long time. That is a long time. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Twitch.tv used to be Justin.tv and was a little less focused on video games, but ultimately became Twitch. And so that shows some time. Yeah, it feels like ages ago. Gosh, it was a very long time ago. I remember I got started on Twitch just, I think, when it was freshly Twitch. Like their first, like they were still talking about being Justin TV at the time. Like they made the switch, but it was pretty recent. And so that's when I started watching Twitch. So I kind of came in on the train where there was like, I think everyone started watching League of Legends, like when League of Legends aired their pro games via the LCS, the League Championship Series, and it became a thing on Twitch. That's when I got on there. I'm not ashamed to say that I was part of the group that discovered Twitch through League of Legends, although I quickly outgrew that in terms of realizing there was far more to Twitch than just watching LCS. So here we are, right? Here we are. Let's see. So basically MrGn0me's been at least on the platform and has seen it for a very long time. The next question I ask is, please describe your channel and what kind of content do you produce? My channel has gone through a lot of changes. I started out as variety and then streamed mainly Hearthstone and then went back to variety. Now I think I found my niche of streaming Breath of the Wild challenges. I have beat the game with a potato controller, beat it on a master mode with no armor and 3 hearts, and now I'm playing through it on a microwave. There's some other variety games thrown in there, but I mainly stream Breath of the Wild. I love it. I love that description and the fact that you play these games on random controllers and that it's all Breath of the Wild. It's really cool. Part of the niche, especially. I mean, you're not just niche in that you're Breath of the Wild, but you're niche in that you do all these challenges, whether it's playing it in various modes, but also the controllers. So I think that it's really good for people to understand that it's important to know where you're coming from and what you're doing in the space that you're streaming in. And MrGn0me has picked a very specific space. I apologize. Do you guys hear all that background noise? Okay, it's calmed down. I think we're okay. Okay, we're good. Back to it. So I think this is good. I think this is really good. Oh man, my background noise cancellation is really coming through. My house is noisy right now, so I'm glad I'm glad. That said, bless you RTX voice. Have you played with that software? It's amazing. Anyway, I think it's really good direction. And this question is not meant to trick people, but it is to a degree meant to test people. Not a lot of people think about their content and how to look at it and their channel, and it's really important that at some point you do, especially if you're trying to continue to improve and grow the channel. I think it's okay to start streaming with no real idea of where you're headed, but once you've done it after some time, it's a matter of figuring out what you're doing. And it looks like you have a really good idea. That much was apparent in the trailer, and I think it's worthwhile to say continue to think about how you describe your channel to someone new, whether it's a new viewer who's just come to your channel with a raid or they've browsed to it. Having that description in your back pocket is excellent, and I think you have a pretty good start where you say, hey, I'm MrGn0me, I play a lot of Breath of the Wild, I do a lot of hard and new challenges, and I also play with weird controllers. So that's perfect. That's excellent. Stream schedule. What's your stream schedule? MrGn0me is live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern. Currently in the middle of maybe changing your start time. Okay, that's fine. I like that you have a regular schedule though. One, that's really good. Two, you're live at least 3 times a week, which is pretty solid. I know we hear this all the time in the content creator streamer space where it's like, be consistent, right? Stream at consistent times. And I know we hear that so much. We hear that all the time. Like anytime you Google or talk to a creator and you say to them, what is some advice you could give a creator? You almost always hear be consistent. And while at this point it's been said so often that it feels probably cliche, I would say it is quite possibly still some of the best advice you could give to a brand new streamer. And so I'll tell you why, because mainly if you don't have a regular schedule, people that really appreciate your content, even if they're following you, won't know when to expect to watch you if you don't have some kind of regular schedule. So you're losing out on a potential returning viewership, right? If you can't have, and I get this a lot, where people say, but Amor, what if I can't stream on a regular schedule? I get it. If you can't stream on a regular schedule, be very communicative about when you can be live. Encourage your viewers to turn on their notifications, and then point them to some place that they can hear from you to kind of get more information on when you're being live. So that means if it's Discord or Twitter, some kind of form of social media or way to post, hey, I'm going to go live. And if you have a fair amount of lead time, if you know when you're live, post it ahead of time to kind of get those followers who are involved that information. If you don't know, that's okay, but try and get that out when you can. It sucks if you don't have a schedule, but you try to make up for it with communication. That means you need to rely on things like Twitter and Discord or Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is you want to use. MrGn0me says, I didn't realize how helpful a regular schedule was until I got one down and stuck with it. It's true. It's true. Can I tell you something that blows people's minds? I stuck to a regular schedule for 13, 14 months, to the point where it was clockwork. Everyone knew to expect me at 8 p.m. Pacific almost every weekday night, actually. And it would go from 8 Pacific until about midnight. And that was nothing but steady growth and steady return of viewers. And so I highly recommend, if you can be consistent. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying schedule your streams every night or for most of the week. Like, people shouldn't expect you to stream that much, only if you can. But, you know, I think a good regular schedule for most people is around 3 times a week if they could swing it. If you can swing 3 times a week, do it. Corbob says, those were the glory days of Oxygen Not Included. I built this community on a game called Oxygen Not Included. It's by Clay. They do Don't Starve as well. I have them to thank for such a fantastic community. Skanzi, welcome. Skanzi says, the importance dawned on me the first time I was about 15 minutes late, and someone commented, I was here at 7 and I was confused that you weren't here. Yeah, so just to talk a little bit about the philosophy about that, right? I already said, you know, people know when to expect you. The next piece of that, and the other part that I think, even though people don't always mention this, because everyone says be consistent, so people know when to talk, you know when to expect you. What's really important to recognize here is that when you are that consistent and predictable, and if they like your content, because again, the real reason should be they love what you do and who you are, right? Should they love who you are and what you do and they decide to come back, it becomes a habit. You know, it becomes something where they make a little time for you in their day or in their week or whatever that your schedule looks like. They make a little time for you and it becomes almost just a part of their daily ritual, right? And that's great. And I think that's why consistency matters. That's why it's so important. So Skanzi has a great point and a great example there. So there's that. What would you like to get out of the review is what I ask. Back to the questionnaire. MrGn0me says, my current concern is making sure my content is entertaining and accessible. I get a lot of streamer friends popping in, but I have trouble pulling in new viewers outside my friend groups. I'm not sure if it's a content issue or maybe a branding issue. Okay, so we'll take a look at that. We'll see what's going on. What particular things do you want looked at is what I ask. MrGn0me says mainly content and branding. Of course, we could do that as well. And finally, I always ask, do you have any specific questions you'd like answered? MrGn0me says, I know this is pretty broad, but my main question is how to pull in more viewers. Those are all great questions. Those are all the things that I think a lot of us creators want to know. And I'm going to tell you now that the answers are really not magical at all, but we'll get into it as we reach all these points. It's definitely a lot of it is just, you know, paying attention and being very intentional. And so we will walk through that. Let's take a look at the other pieces of the channel, and then we'll jump into a VOD. So my first impression looking at your about screen is it's very, we got some 8-bit feeling here. So when we put that up against your banner, we got like an 8-bit mushroom, and then we kind of have these panel headers that kind of give off that 8-bit vibe. You do pixel art, that's fantastic. It looks great. What's really good is that it's consistent between your banner art and your panel art, so that's really good. So let's see, let's read about MrGn0me and see if this is still consistent with some of the stuff we've seen so far. Hi, I'm Tim, or MrGn0me, and I love making games more challenging and beat them in unique ways. I play a lot of Breath of the Wild and also throw in a variety of other games into the mix. That's perfect. That's perfect. I would recommend, if you have thoughts or desires and intentions around the kind of community you want to build, or the kind of community that you have, this is also a good place to mention it, or in the About Me section down here, which we'll read next shortly. And what I mean is something like, you know, I love to build a community around those that love Breath of the Wild as much as I do, or I want to build a community around people who enjoy a challenge like I do. So something like that. Build a way for people to look at, like, even a sentence where they can read that and say, oh, you know, I do love Breath of the Wild, or oh, I love it when people, you know, play games in a stupid hard way. Right? Like, you've already established who you are. You do a really good job with that. Like, I'm gonna point that out. You do a really good job of saying, you know, this is who I am and this is what I do. Now take that next step and say, here's why you should care. Here's why MrGn0me is the place to be. All right, let's click them links. I like to check if links are up to date. This looks good. YouTube, Twitter looks good. Let's look at YouTube. YouTube looks good. Excellent. I'm not going to join that right now, but looks good. All right. I also like to take this time to creep on your social profile, because this part comes into play a little later, but I like to always take a peep at what you guys got going on your social network. So MrGn0me right here. Good. So here is this appears to be your banner with some sort of logo. We're also looking at your profile picture, And I love this. I like to comment on the profile picture too, which was actually, oh no, your Twitter's outdated. I was gonna say we'll get to that. This matches, so this just looks like a wonderful piece of art of you. I'm totally down for that. Looks good. Washed up TCG player. I stream on Twitch and co-star in Game Reapers on YouTube. So if this is out of date, I would update this. The good news is you have your Twitch channel linked here. And what I would heavily recommend is someone who looks at streamer profiles as part of my job on occasion, every so often. I don't see a way to reach you. And often email address is a pretty good way to keep yourself, you know, out there. So an email address of some kind, what I would do is I would make, if you don't already have one, an email address specifically so people who want to work with you can reach out. And this is if you want to work with game companies or companies that can support your content creation, whether it's, you know, people who make controllers or people who make games that are not unlike Breath of the Wild. I would create an email to be accessible. Often you'll get opportunities because of that, as well as if you try to get opportunities. You know, sometimes a game company is going to release a game and they put a call out for creators who are interested. The first thing they'll usually do is they'll take a look at your Twitch page and they'll be like, I don't see an email that verifies this information. So you'll want an email in two places at least. Your primary social network, which in this case I believe would be Twitter, so that it would go here in your profile, and then I would put that somewhere in your about section in the panels. All right, we're just gonna scroll really quick. I love this post. Just want to say I'm 23 followers away on Twitch for me to wear this on stream. Do you have this ready to go? Do you have this outfit? Because I'm excited. I'll tune in for that. You don't yet? So this looks good. What's really excellent here is you post and comment pretty regularly. It's varied enough. What I'm finding lacking. Actually, wait. Nope, I found it. Excellent. Good.
Oh no. Oh my gosh, look at him! Oh my gosh! He's carrying a spear!
Okay, good.
So
excellent.
Cute.
What we're seeing is a clip. This is good. So clips are great. Clips of your stream are fantastic. So yeah, you're doing a fantastic job here. We see another one. This is good. If you are trying to grow your channel, I recommend finding clips, whether it's to encourage your viewership or you should all, like, you as a creator should always be doing this, but like also encourage your viewership to find clips. That is a wonderful way for you to share your content on things like social networks and your Discord. So MrGn0me says, my clips have been lacking a bit. Really? What's going on with them? Is it like you think the quality of them are lacking or the number of them? This looks good though. You haven't put in the time. Okay. Do you have a stream deck or do you have something like that? because I would make a recommendation, if you have one, to add a clip button to it. And if something really cool happens, you just hit the clip button. Or okay, good. Yeah. And I'm not saying people should run out and get one, but if you're a creator and you have a Stream Deck, one of the biggest things that you could do with that is add a clip button. And if something really amazing happens, you hit that button, it's clipped. And then you can either share it or download it and edit it so you could do something with it later. All right, so let's go through the panels. About me. Hey, I'm Tim. I'm 28 and live with my 2 cats. It's Sidon and Tabs. My dream is to one day have a job in the gaming industry, whether it be streaming or making games. For now, I build websites for my day job. Here on my channel, you can expect playthroughs of new games I find interesting and some speedrunning, but a majority of my content is challenge runs. I like putting arbitrary limitations on games and putting struggles on public display. I love talking to my chat, so come hang out and say hey. It's good. I like that. Schedule. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's perfect. November schedule, Monday and Wednesday, playing Breath of the Wild with a microwave. Friday, Age of Calamity playthrough. Great. I like what you did with your panels in terms of your about is the first thing. That's perfect. And then your schedule, that's always what I would do. What I would do is I see you have rules. This is good, and these look like good rules. I would bump your rules up to the 3rd space. But that's me. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, like, if you don't want to do that, that doesn't hurt you too badly. But I always say about, schedule, rules should be in your first 3 slots if possible. Also note that if you care about the aesthetics of how these look, generally speaking, on the average display, given how this website works, when the sidebar's out and the chat is out, expect a 3-column configuration. Although it changes based on the size of the window and what components are popped out of the side. And then the second thing when it comes to rules is I would have fun. Fun is not an option. Just make sure these rules are consistent in your chat settings. You have a settings where you can put these rules. Someone who comes by your chat for the first time would see them when they click on the chat. I think I've been to your chat, so yeah, it's not going to show me. All right. This is the configuration I'm talking about with 3 columns. So we're looking at everything on a 1080p screen right now. I know not everyone has a 1080p, but it's the best. It's probably the best resolution to optimize for. Let's see. You have an offline screen. This is perfect. MrGn0me's offline, live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. This is good. A minor note, may want to put Eastern, but that's okay. See, socials. So this Twitter, is this the same Twitter? It's the same Twitter. Good. YouTube. I'm double checking all your links. You'd be surprised at how many people don't have up-to-date links. These all look good. Looks good. All right. I like this background. This is cool. All right. You have your emotes, which is awesome. These are my emotes made by my wonderful Momosuke. By the wonderful Momosuke. These are available as tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Or as bid emotes. What you could do is you could link this banner to the subscribe link. So when they click on it, it could bring up the subscribe modal. There's a little modal that comes up. Otherwise, panels look good. Chat, hopefully you guys are good on this. Let me know. That's it for panels. Panels look good. That's your schedule. So, the good news is you already have schedule on your panel, so that's not a big deal. So that's excellent. If you care, you should probably fill this out too, but know that you'd have to then maintain 2. Oh, there's a break. That's why. Fantastic. Good job. Good job. Well, then you're fine then. Videos look, let's see, recent broadcasts, recent highlights, popular clips, all videos. I always make a note of this when I talk to streamers about this section of their channel. If there's a grouping of videos that you want to feature, essentially a playlist like YouTube, Twitch supports that in what they call collections. If there are collections or playlists that you would like to put together featuring different content that you're proud of, please do so. One, it's a good place to just put things together. It gives another way for viewers to look through your videos, and they find, if they find a collection that looks interesting to them, they can also click on that and watch your playlist. And then number 2, it works really well here on this section of the channel. If this were my channel, if you're the creator, you see a little channel here a little button here that allows you to customize this layout, or rather the order. And that also lets you add something like collections. So I have a collection featured on mine that's of just stream reviews. So just something to know. Just something to know. Otherwise looks good. Yeah. Not everyone knows that for some reason. Yeah, so like I said, with clips, you'll want to make sure people are clipping, and that you're reviewing your streams for clips. Or if you have some kind of way, if you don't have a good way of doing it, like if you don't end up using the app, what you could do is you could have the dashboard pulled up, the creator dashboard, and you can add a little button that says clip that. Or you could add, there's a button that says add a stream marker. You can add a stream marker, so when you pull up the video later in the creator dashboard, it will show every place you've marked. I like to use stream markers for when I build highlights. When I inevitably save these stream reviews, I like to highlight the core section, once we actually start the review. Whatever works for you. All right. Overall, so far, it looks good, MrGn0me. Let's take a look at your videos. Is this most recent stream okay? Would you like to do it on the Hyrule Warriors stream or the last Breath of the Wild stream? What do you think? Or do you have a preference? Both are fine. Okay, well, what we could do is, so I'm super curious about your microwave playthrough. I'm gonna pull that one up, and then if there's time, we'll look at the Hyrule Warriors one. So let's pull up your VOD. So I like the starting soon screen. I really dig it, actually. I love what you got going on here. Did you make this? Was this you? Yeah, this is fantastic, dude. Now, I often recommend that people look at adding either a loading bar or like a progress meter or a countdown timer. Otherwise, this is great. I like the look, I like the animation, I like the music. This is fantastic. Optionally, people like to add their socials here. I'm a fan of a cleaner screen here, but whatever you think works. We're gonna skip ahead a little. That was almost too perfect, but here. Yeah, a timer's always good. I always recommend. I've been recommending around 3 minutes for a lot of people, but I'm actually starting to come around back to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, I think, is ideal in terms of like how long you stay on the screen.
It should be working. My mic's working, right? I tested it before. Hey, it's working. Hey, everybody, welcome. Good to see everyone talking chat. Hello, Tedium. MK Chick. How's it going? Chalky. Good to see you all. Oh my gosh, my cat is on my keyboard. Cat, get off. Stop. No, don't look.
Oh no. Oh no.
What are you doing?
That's hilarious,
Hello,
dude.
we're in my room now. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing?
I love your background there. This is fantastic.
Also, Shocky, welcome back. This is the new kitty. Also, this music is a bop. The new Zelda and Chill album came out, and I love it. It's so good. Yeah, it's Sidon.
Is this your face back here?
Cozy.
In this background? This is good.
My headphones. Okay.
Creeper be creeping.
How's it going, Chonky? How's everyone doing? There's a slight issue. I have an unattached wire. And I don't know what this goes to.
It was a random face.
Figure that out.
It's so small, it's hard to tell.
What happened to this?
So chat, we're gonna watch this for a little bit.
Good. I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
If you have thoughts, of course.
I took an unexpected 2-hour nap earlier.
A random wire, says Corbob.
Oh, it's to this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, what could go wrong when you find a random cable that you're not really 100% sure about? What could possibly go wrong?
So much, it just stinks. You notice the window? Yeah, I don't remember when I added that. I added that like forever ago. You got a little a little man in the window there. He's just saying hello. Okay, hey, I need to fix this, okay? And you can't play with this. This is not to play with. All right? These wires aren't toys, and neither is the keyboard. Okay, I think this is where it goes. It goes in here. And just kind of tape that back down. Yeah, I took an unexpected 2-hour nap earlier. I've been playing some Hearthstone again. Having some fun with that. I'm excited to get back into... It's 1 a.m. Oh my gosh, my cat added scenes. Okay, he just duplicates scenes. Okay, whatever. I'll fix that later.
This is great. I appreciate that your cat's
Camera.
helping with your stream. I love it. So really quick, let's. So you're chatting. Your chatting screen totally fine. This looks good. I mean,
With.
I like the full screen for when you're talking to chat. I like the the use of the green screen there, which is perfect.
The keyboard. Okay, I think this is where it goes. It goes in here, and just kind of tape that back down. Yeah, I took an unexpected 2-hour nap earlier. I've been playing some Hearthstone again, having some fun with that. Now I'm excited to get back into. It's 1 a.m. Oh my gosh, my cat added.
I like your transition
scenes.
too.
Okay, he just duplicates scenes. Okay, whatever. I'll fix that later. Also, that's camera.
Oh, he's a big help.
There we go. Okay, cool. We're back. Hey. Oh. Who's hyped for some cool action today? Okay, we're gonna put this over here again. This can go. You got gifts up to GG. Awesome. You get all those cool emotes too. That is sick. Yeah, I feel bad. I haven't been able to check out as many streams lately in the past few days. Just been mostly kind of relaxing, trying to catch up on some sleep. Gonna send me my kitty. Oh gosh, I can't wait. I've already seen one of the cats. I think PK showed me one stream. I don't remember. What are you? You can't get up here. Okay, you have to sit down here. Don't go on the keyboard. I swear, if you go on the keyboard,
Big shenanigans, man.
Oh my gosh, cat, you stink.
So what I would
Where's
say
my music?
is your opening was pretty good. I'm glad that you're calling out your chat, welcoming and greeting them. That's really excellent. I like to see that. I like that you had a full screen webcam, which is perfect. And then you have, this looks like your gameplay screen, which looks pretty good. I think that overall, you know, it's very straightforward, which is perfect. You know, you've got your gameplay, you have your chat, you have your picture of your controller because you're using a microwave, and then your camera. This is perfect. And then a follower goal in the corner. Overall, this looks really good. This looks really solid. I don't think I would do anything differently as far as this goes. Sometimes, you know, it's a question of like, how do I fit all these elements on the screen while not blocking the gameplay? And I think this is always a good solution where you kind of shrink the gameplay slightly and put it to one side so you can make room for the camera, especially like you got a lot going on. I mean, even if you took chat out, you still have the controller camera and your camera. And so if you were to keep these up without moving the gameplay to the left, it would certainly block a lot of it. So this is always a smart move. Sometimes it's a tough call to make because you don't want to block the elements of the game, but you also don't want to shrink the gameplay. So I think that was probably the smart move, though, what you did here.
I mean, that's good, Chunky. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Oh, that's right. We're back here. Okay, so make our way to the tower. That's the current plan.
So do you watch a lot of Rudism? Is that a thing?
Don't think
since Rudism does similar things here?
Dirty.
Or are they an inspiration of yours?
I swear.
This is the screen you use for these types of things, otherwise I have the game full screen. Yeah, I totally get it.
I know, Tatum always with the jokes. Yeah, I'm excited to check out more of your streams in the future, Chunky, because you actually stream like when I'm at work. So I can't always be active, but I often just have streams open up, listening.
Oh yeah, so you do not watch Rootism. Man, I have a treat for you. So, I do believe I have that correct. Let me pull them up just to make sure. Yeah, so Rootism is all about making controllers out of different, like making different things into controllers. Like he played, like this is why I thought you would watch Rootism. He made an ocarina to play Ocarina of Time. Like that's just a whole thing. Corbob asks, that microwave doesn't actually microwave, right? Because it strikes me as really unsafe, unless maybe it's closed. It looks like maybe it's closed. MrGn0me says, no, the microwave is not plugged in. So, yeah.
Okay.
Rootism does some crazy stuff. Actually, I would highly recommend that you check out Rootism sometime. I don't know if they're your kind of streamer, but they definitely make like custom, they make controllers like out of anything really, and then they play games that way. So I would actually, when I read this about your channel that you like to use different controllers, I would say Rootism kind of knows, like they've kind of they work in that space in terms of content. Like that's the thing that they do, and highly recommend. It's always good to be aware of what people who are doing similar things to you are doing, so you can maybe get inspiration, find out what works, what doesn't from them. I don't think they're really a challenge. I mean, in a way, they're a challenge streamer just because they try to make weird things and try to play the games that way. But you know.
There we go. Okay, cool.
So back to the stream.
Never heard of the Rodent Mini. Oh, and upgrading the office of the internet. That's always fun. Currently have 3 megabits down. Oh my gosh, that's not a lot. Fortunately, my office has good internet, but I got moved, so I'm on Wi-Fi. So it's like spotty. There'd be like times during a day where it'd just be like terrible. And yeah, the dings are always funny. Okay, cool. There we go. Got the tower. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
I'm gonna turn up your stream a little bit.
Spotty Wi-Fi, that's dangerous.
To see what I can hear.
I wouldn't know it. Because your streams actually look pretty decent. Like I've never noticed it looking bad. Can I make it up here? I'm not sure if I can. Office only uses the internet for emails and internet radio. Wow. Wi-Fi is good until it really, really isn't. I mean, yeah. That's just how it is, right? I'm not sure if I can make this. I might run out of stamina. We'll see. This will be an experiment. I don't think I can make this. I'm gonna run out. Oh, you don't have a port in your room? Oh, that sucks. What you might be able to do is there are...
Did your microwave just ding?
I call my cats Chonky. Isn't Dub's dog named Chonky too? Gosh, this left thing. But Chonky, what you might be able to do is... Oh gosh. What? It's not working! Wait. My attack's not working. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay. No, stop. Okay. As I was saying, they're like these things called power line adapters, where it's like something you plug into the wall, you connect one Ethernet cable into your like moat router, and then you connect the other one.
I love that the attack is open and close the door. Skanzi says, stream looks great, and I'm so incredibly intrigued by your controller approach. Yeah, I think the controller thing is fantastic. I really like it. It is pretty funny that you're opening, oh my god, opening and closing the door is the attack.
Okay.
I think the approach is really cool. I really think this is a great take on
For some reason jump's not working.
this
We
game.
got this green cord going to here, so that's fine.
Did he discover where the random wire
Oh.
is from?
Oh, it's not plugged in. Okay. And there we go. Hey, it works. Okay, cool. Got it. The attack button works.
This is good.
Seriously, a talent. It's mostly just trying to keep things from breaking all the time, you know? Okay. Also, let's save, because I'm probably about to die.
Oh, one of the wires kept disconnecting.
Oops, going too far. Okay, okay. We got our attack button now. We got the attack. And we got a cat. Nope.
Oh, are you playing this on the Wii U?
Ding.
No, don't die.
I'm trying not to die. What is... I keep pressing the Windows key. Okay.
Oh, through an emulator. I was gonna say that makes more sense. So you can do the controller thing.
Okay, you know, just casually one-handed. Oh, Miss Allie redeemed that. Hey, Miss Allie, welcome to being humble as heck. I mean,
So as far as the quality of this stream, like the production value is pretty solid. The game looks great. Camera looks pretty good.
okay, I don't want to.
Overall, this feels good from what I can see here. Your mix is pretty good. Your volume, like your audio mix is pretty good. The thing about Breath of the Wild and its music is very contextual. So when things aren't happening, music kind of goes away, and then you're kind of left with the ambient sound, which sometimes is fine. I think it's a matter of filling that not dead air per se, but it gets very quiet in game. I think you're doing fine because you're talking enough. But that's just something to be aware of. Because the music, this is one of those games the music can just stop.
I'm making up this thing because I can't deal with this guy and these keys. It's gonna be hard. Really freaking ready for bed. I feel that. I feel that a lot. Okay. I don't think I have. Nope. Don't stop my keyboard. Gosh. Only downside of having these things mapped to keyboard buttons. I don't think I have any food, unfortunately. I have this.
I notice your camera shakes a little bit.
I don't know. I think.
I mean, I imagine because you're manipulating, you know, something as big as a microwave, it's shaking your desk.
But I don't have wood to make it not nighttime.
That's hilarious.
Unfortunately. It's just I don't need this, but having this makes it a lot easier for me to find out where to go. Stay there for a few hours. It's 12. Oh, he saw me. It's 12:45 a.m. It's not gonna be daytime anytime soon. Okay, well, I died. I just died. That's fine. All right, I'll just take a sip of my drink.
I'm a fan of the controller challenge.
Rocking the Mountain Dew Kickstart today.
Let's go ahead a little, like 20 minutes
right.
or so.
And we'll start back over. I hope the shrine is up here. I'm not really sure what it is. We'll see.
Any other thoughts, chat, on how MrGn0me stream's going?
K-Chick had in your head? Oh, that's good.
You spend a bit stuck in this spot.
It's always nice when an emote, like, you have an idea for how it should look, and it turns out it's exactly how you want it. Okay, ding. No,
Oh,
jumpsuit.
no. I've never completed a playthrough of Breath of the Wild.
The jump button is so dang finicky. I hate it. Please.
Confession.
Please.
I have not finished Breath of the Wild.
Oh, don't start me. Please start me near here. Rip. Oh my gosh, you have a rip emote. Okay, I'm still here. He has to climb this whole thing over again. What fun. Oh my gosh. Isn't climbing so much fun? All I do is just hold this down with one finger. I can do anything I want. With the other hand, I can take a drink.
Look at you.
Here we go. I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with after this challenge. Like, I don't know how to top. Okay, my cat is on Sidon. Come on.
Pro microwave player right there, says Corbob.
Yes, hi. Hi.
I'm amazed that you're able to do this, to be honest.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
pretty cool
you
watching
stink
people
all the
do
time.
stuff like this all the time. Like,
Just
I couldn't
constantly
do
smell
it.
like
I couldn't
rotten
do that.
eggs. Anyways, yeah, I don't like how I top this challenge. I think the next one I'm gonna do is blindfolded. Yeah, new kitty. He's so good. Okay.
So, what is the nature of your playthrough? Like, how much
Jump.
are you going
There
to
we
do?
go.
Like, are you going to try to beat the
He
game
just
with this
farts all the
controller?
time. I don't know why. He does stink. Okay. Cast him like ginger snaps.
Is that
It's
the
just
goal?
like he's a little fart machine, huh? Which is a little gassy. That's okay. He does. Where am I? Also, by the way, in case all of you don't know,
The goal is to beat the game. I do different routes
his
depending on
name's
the type of
Sidon,
playthrough. Oh, wow,
after
that's impressive,
Prince
man.
Sidon in the game, in Breath of the Wild. In case you don't know, I'm gonna be doing the week after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be doing a community game week. So on Monday, we'll be doing Jackbox party games. On Wednesday, we're doing some Among Us. It'll be open to everyone who comes in the stream. I'll try to. I don't know how we'll do slots. We'll try to rotate it every so often, hopefully. And then on Friday, chat, you all can help me complete Breath of the Wild. So on Friday, I'll be playing Breath of the Wild, but I won't see the game, but you will.
Oh,
I'll be able to
jeez.
hear things, but I won't be able to see it. So you'll have to guide me through on finishing the game.
That's
So
going to go well.
that'll be the week after Thanksgiving. I'll also be doing some giveaways and stuff as well.
So really quick, I really like, so at least a comment on the direction of the channel. I think that you are in a really good place. I think that a lot of creators struggle with what sets them apart from other creators. And I talk about this often. I think that at least from a gameplay perspective, or at least from how you do things with the game, I think that you have a very strong direction. You know, your channel is about playing Breath of the Wild, doing different challenges and ways to beat the game. And I think that's a really good angle. I honestly, you know, as long as you love Breath of the Wild, which I think you do, it's very clear that you do. I think you're onto something here. It is one thing to note, it's incredibly niche. It's incredibly niche, which, I mean, you do want that because you want to build your viewership who are, you know, hopefully looking for something more specific, right? They're looking, in this case, people who love Breath of the Wild, people who think challenge runs are very intriguing. This is the way, I think, to do it, honestly. So I think that may make things a bit difficult in terms of growth, but what you really have going for you is a strong direction, and that's good. I think that's really good. I think that's fantastic. Let's leap ahead again and see where you're at.
I'd like more, but
let's keep watching.
I'll
chat. Hopefully, if you guys have any feedback from MrGn0me,
there are other hearty.
Feel free to drop it in
foods,
the
like
chat.
The radishes. I have one in my inventory. Or there's like truffles. It's just the durians are supposed to be easier to find, and here they are. Oh my gosh! Finally. Okay. We've made it. I think a blood moon's coming too. So good. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There's the blood moon. Yay.
Yeah, I think you're doing. I think from your I think how your approach is really good.
By its glow, aimless spirits of monsters slain in the name of the light return to flesh.
Well, that's also another challenge. Killing all the enemies in the game too. It's like over 4,000 of them. All right, cool. That's done. We can take this. Hey, there's a hardy durian.
Now, one thing I've noticed is that you're definitely responding to chat as things come up, but what I'm not getting a sense of really so far is conversation with the chat for the most part.
Post-it just fell. Yeah, they've been falling off lately. I need to get.
Do you often talk about your process with how you either made this setup, or do you talk about the process of like, you know, what is working out really well with the microwave and what isn't working out? What you can do is you can certainly in terms of how you approach, you know, chatting about it with your audience is discussing these things with them. And you know, I probably already missed all that, mainly because you've done quite a few of these streams. But I think people would love to hear, and maybe you already covered this, you know, what made you choose a microwave, or what does what. I think it would be good to maybe even make a command that would say, like, a command or a timer in chat that explains what the controls are. You did that mainly during the first stream, but you could definitely bring it up more often. Yeah, I would say, yeah, every so often, you know, because you get different people filtering in and out of your stream. You could talk about the microwave, or you could always be like, hey, you just, you know, hey, welcome to the stream. We're playing with a microwave. Here's what this does. I wouldn't say it should dominate your conversation, but it should certainly come up every so often, you know, where you talk about the fact that you're playing, just even the fact that you're playing with a microwave, or that, you know, explaining out loud, like, what the dials do or how you control link
Can I get one from here
uh,
already?
with the different dials. Those are certainly the things that are always nice. Like,
They're good.
because
They
this
just
stream is a
push me right
challenge
off.
stream, is showcasing kind of what is interesting about it, whether again it's through chat timers or chat commands or through
It
how
does
you explain
wrinkle,
it
but I'm not
and converse
sure.
during the actual
I'm
run.
not sure like how long.
Maybe create a strong highlight video from that first stream and include a link in the bot command. Yeah, that's fine too, totally.
Minimum of 12 here. If they grow the same
I mean,
way.
that works. It's really about bringing that conversation back to the things that make this particular content different and interesting to a new person. Especially, you have to look at this through the lens of, you know, I've been streaming this for however many hours, but people are going to come in and out. How do I get them up to speed with what's going on with my channel, or what, you know, whether it's just like every so often saying, oh, hey, I'm MrGn0me, and as you can see, I'm playing with a microwave, you know, and then here's the quick rundown. Or you could continue. I noticed you mentioned it a little bit, you know, where you could turn the dial and link keeps climbing. It's comments on those sort of things that are always nice to hear, where you're just kind of talking about how the controls work or how they feel, or even you can talk about the philosophy of like why you have the dial work the way it does, right? And so I really think that overall it's a pretty good thing, like the controller piece to this, but I would mention it every so often. And then on top of that, like I said, like the conversation with the chat, like I feel you're responding to chat very well.
Are they owned by 3M?
I think more conversation with chat is always good, and that's where that topic that I just mentioned, right? Like how you came to the controller, or why you chose a microwave, or what made it difficult or interesting, etc. Hello, Ike the Bike. Welcome to the stream.
Okay. I just need 2 more.
Let's go ahead a little bit more.
Spend an hour trying to make it through the castle. Yeah, I haven't seen the new ones. I don't know. This might be a controversial opinion, but I'm not a huge fan of post Parks and Rec Chris Pratt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that offends some people. It's just how I feel.
Wait, what? Wait, what about Chris Pratt?
Thing? Oh my gosh. Okay, good. I was worried I was gonna get a lot of flack for that. But yeah. So horror movie you watched with your cousins, you're like 8. It freaks you out a bit. Yeah, I don't know if I ever got scared from movies as a kid.
MrGn0me says, I used to write down conversation pieces in a doc, but need to start doing that again. You know, I think whatever, and let's talk about the philosophy of it, right? Like, let's talk about the how we should tackle this. Because I think writing down conversations, topics in a document is not bad at all. I think it's different for everyone how we do it. I mean, you have post-it notes. You could even like jot down what you're wanting to talk about on a post-it note and put it right on your monitor, whatever helps you. I think it's very important for streamers, especially those who have a harder time, because I think every streamer feels this way, where they often say, man, I don't know what to talk about, right? Or it's really difficult for me to keep conversation going in my chat. And it's really, you know, like, how do I do that is always the question. Like, how do I keep chat engaged with what I'm thinking or talking about. There's nothing wrong with taking time, and if this is a pre-stream ritual for you, then so be it. But when I was really trying to figure out how to talk and converse with my chat and get myself in the habit of that, I certainly think about what I sit down before the stream, and I try not to take too much time because you know, you have enough things to prep for, right? It's hard to keep conversation going and not talk about the game all the time. Yeah, I agree. As part of my prep, what I used to do was I would take a second and I would think about all the things that I would talk about with one of my friends. Like, and this is one way to do it. You don't have to do it this way, but often what I do, you know, what I did, especially early on, is I would think about what kind of conversation would I have with one of my friends that I hadn't seen in a day or two, or a couple days, or a week. And I think about the stuff that I would probably mention. Whether it's, of course, thoughts on the game that I'm having, but like, you know, funny, weird stories that I might have, or things that I've experienced. I like to read a lot of game news and reviews and industry related stuff because I work in the game industry, so I often think about stuff that I've read and seen, whether it's stuff I see on social media. It's really about conversation that you think you would have with someone that well, I would consider, you know, low intensity, right? Like where you're just chilling out with a buddy or a friend, or even just not your closest friend, but an acquaintance, where you're trying to make enough small talk. And one thing I would like to note is that chat knows when you're trying to force it. So certainly try not to force it, but have things ready where you're ready to talk about whether it's the latest, you know, news on Hyrule Warriors, you know, because Hyrule Warriors just came out. I mean, obviously you do a stream on it after this one on that game, but like stuff you're interested in, stuff you're thinking about, things that keep you, you know, yourself interested, whatever that might be. And I think you're doing the piece that is pretty common and that's working really well for a lot of streamers, is you're talking about the game, you're talking about what's going on, and that's good. Like, you have a really good base to work on top of. It's now a matter of how can we elevate that to something that's more relatable, right? So as you probably know, streamers, you know, get their viewers and their community, they built that based on, you know, the like for whatever games that they're playing. But what brings people back is, you know, finding that relatability, that that special thing that makes you different than other streamers. And I'm not even talking about the controller stuff. I'm not talking about gimmicks or even anything that's weird. It's legit just, you know, continuing to be who you are, right? Being Tim or MrGn0me as a gamer, as a content creator, who you are and the things that you enjoy talking about. And I think a lot of people, when they get into content creation, they don't sometimes think about that. And that is what's going to help you continue to build on top of this incredibly strong, what I consider base for the niche that you're in, right? I think when you start to find topics that interest you, or things that your chat is really excited about and expanding on it. I'm glad that you were having this conversation about the Jurassic Park movies. I think that's fantastic. it's that type of conversation. It's those things that people really enjoy. So in terms of engagement, if it helps to like as part of your prep to think about like the things that you would mention to a friend you haven't seen in a while, or even an acquaintance that you don't really know really well but you want to get to know, those are the kind of the sweet spots in terms of the things that should drive your topics and drive the conversation that you have. I think you're responding to them well. I think it's a matter of continuing to build on top of that. Like, how can I relate to MrGn0me, right? Let's keep looking at this and see what else we can find.
Like, there's something that really freaked me out as a kid. I feel like as I've gotten older as an
See,
adult,
this
I've
is a
gotten
good
more and more
example of
scared things,
exactly what I'm talking about too.
ironically enough. Okay. I just need to make this dumb cliff, and I'll be good. Is there another cliff I can get up? Because I don't want to confront that guy. Okay, we'll just go up here. Creature comes out of the darkness to get you. You can tell the whole...
Oh, you're welcome, Dream Bunny. What's going on?
They or them. I don't know. Because there was like an old sci-fi horror movie called Them about gigantic ants. But I don't think that's what you're referring to.
Some words of wisdom. And you're welcome, MrGn0me. It's funny that
Okay.
Parks and Rec came
Well,
up briefly
save
because
here.
I'm
I
wearing
should've
like my
saved here.
Pawnee. I'm wearing like my
Honestly,
Pawnee
I
shirt.
should have just saved here.
Hold on. Wearing my
A pale
Pawnee,
skinny handgun
Indiana
that-
shirt.
I should have quick saved there. Gosh, I need to save scum more. Hopefully it saved me.
Parks and
Hopefully it
Recreation
saved for me,
t-shirt.
rather. Dang it. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, but I'm gonna save scum it. Okay. I know this is taking a while, but this is just how it is. 100% not the answer. I mean, I figured. I do like old sci-fi flicks. Especially like watching those old movies and then watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000 dubs of them.
This is perfect. This
one
is
of my
the
favorite
conversation. This is the conversation
most
that
actors.
viewers come back for. So I think you're doing a really great job here.
Keep tabs of a lot of actors I enjoy watching.
This is good.
Unfortunately, like a few of them have like passed. Like Alan Rickman, Christopher Lee.
Let's skip ahead a little bit more. Actually, you know, let's see. You know, I think we have a good idea of what's going on here. Let's skip to the end, and then we'll do some we'll do some more wrap up and some questions.
Having some good old fun with that. Okay. All right. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. Thank you all for coming to watch. Hope you all have fun. I am exhausted and not looking forward again on Monday. So the Ganon fight, Microwave the Wild will be on Monday. Friday, we'll be playing some Age of Calamity, having some good old fun with that. Oh, let's find someone we can raid.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you're all enjoying this. Let's see. Let's see. What is that? You know what? We'll go raid Hawk. He's doing his midweek evening party boats as usual. So I'll hang out there a little bit before bed. I hope you have a good rest. Hope you all have a good Thursday. If I don't see you Friday, hope you have a good rest of your week and weekend. And yeah, have a good night. So we'll raid Hawk. And I will see you later.
So not a bad way to close it out. I think overall it is pretty solid. I think usually what makes a really great closing of a stream is you know, letting them know you're ending, thanking them for their time, which is always good. And then you did mention what you're doing in the future. That's great. What I would tack on to that is times, you know, like you can see me at this time. I'll be streaming at this time on Friday. So that's just kind of a little tweak to how I would close it. And then if you want people to be involved in either your social media or your Discord, there's nothing wrong with plugging that stuff at the very end, or even reminding them to follow. I know some of it feels like kind of the typical content creator thing, right? Where we all kind of make fun of the YouTuber style of, you know, please like and subscribe, right? But when you're closing down a stream, I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of doing that, as long as you're, of course, being genuine and sincere about it. So like, hey, if you really like this this channel and you're not yet following, please do so, is usually how I say it. Or, you know, feel free to join our Discord so you can join our offline conversations, things like that, right? So you can talk about what really is you know, like the things that they can do to help support your stream or become better engaged with your community. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So otherwise, that's a pretty great ending to your stream. I think you mentioned your ending, you thanked them for coming, you told them what you're doing next. Like I said, just tweak it slightly, say when you're on next. Feel free to remind people to either follow or join your other aspects of your community, which include Discord, which include Twitter, which seems like you're pretty active on. If you really want to mention your YouTube channel, which I saw, that's always nice. YouTube's great. You know, I know some of it can kind of feel a little bit like how do you say, like, some of it can kind of feel like the typical creator things to say, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just ways to offer your community those avenues of connecting with you. And again, as long as it comes from a good place, as long as it feels sincere, then I think you're in a good spot. Overall, you know, let's do a quick breakdown. You know, I think your assets look like the graphics look great. I love your pixel art. It's fantastic. Keep it up. I think you have a really good style there. Your branding with the pixel art's pretty consistent. I know that you had you know, you'd mentioned branding is part of your you know, things that you would like to look at. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty consistent. The only thing that I think I would say is just make sure that it's representative of what you think MrGn0me, like the creator, should be. From a, you know, from a standpoint of like how it all fits together, it looks good. So there you go. You're very shy about advertising your stuff, so you need to work on. Yeah, it's hard, right? And I'm gonna tell you now. How do I put it? Like, I have a really hard time too with that stuff, because I don't like asking people for things. I don't like to ask for things, but it's really important. It's really important because it allows you to better do the thing that you do. And I'll tell you why. As actually Stream Bunny just mentioned, it feels validating to hear this because I seriously feel like I'm bugging folks when plugging other avenues of connecting. Don't feel like it's a burden, or don't feel like it's you asking for something you don't deserve, because as a creator you're providing entertainment and you're providing a place hopefully for these viewers to come to on a regular basis, and encouraging them to follow or encouraging them to connect with you on Discord or Twitter is just a matter for you to continue to do what you're doing. And my only assumption is that you are doing this so you can build up those things and continue to create the content that you create. And you know, I'm trying to put this in a manner that is applicable to everyone, because we all do this for different reasons and we all have different content. But when it comes right down to it, it's about being able to ask for that follow, or to ask for that join to your Discord or follow on Twitter, because then it empowers you to continue to build the content that you enjoy building, because then it one, more people can see it and consume it, and two, it gives you that understanding that yes, the things that I'm building and yes, the things that I'm creating are being consumed. So don't be afraid, and there's nothing wrong. And I'll be honest, you have a lot of things to be proud of. The whole controller angle is fantastic. The whole challenge mode, like the whole challenge angle of playing Breath of the Wild, is great. Continue to do those things. I think the only recommendation I'd have in terms of like your content and how you engage your chat is continuing to have those conversations. It took kind of a while to find a good conversation in there, but I'm glad that I found that example of like talking about Jurassic Park. Like you kind of want that to be the goal in terms of like having relatable conversation with those viewers. And if it comes down to, you know, as part of your prep, trying to find topics to discuss or things that you would enjoy bringing up during the stream, I would welcome you to just take a minute or two and think about a handful of things that you would like to talk about. And, you know, for some, the tip that I used earlier helped really helped was, you know, think about the stuff you'd bring up with a friend that you hadn't seen in a little while, which is always nice. Gandhi says, I'd also add, people are there for a reason. It's because of you. They're already there because they enjoy your content, and you're helping remind them how they can make sure they're aware they can get more. Yes, 100%. It's true. People forget. People forget that all the time. And if you really want to continue to build and grow your channel, it's creating more of those moments where they can connect with you, whether it's via Twitter, whether it's via Discord. And then this leads me to my next thing. I know we were talking about clips earlier. Building out those clips, finding those moments that are funny or interesting or show like that there is, you know, something that is compelling or interesting about your stream. Find those moments. And I know that you're probably busy working or you have a lot going on, but if you can eventually get yourself to a point where you're sharing at least one good clip a day of your streams, or the vast majority of days out of the week, you will start to see growth. And I highly recommend either putting in stream markers or clipping things during the stream, or taking moments after your stream and find the parts that you thought were great and reflect your channel. Grab those clips and put them put them up for people to see. The second half of that, of course, is connecting with others on Twitter. I would say who do the things that you do, whether they're Breath of the Wild streamers or people who make who do challenge streams or people who make their own controllers. I would seek those people out. Rootism is a great place to start, and maybe occasionally joining those conversations that they're having on Twitter or in their chats to get to know them. And that's for a couple reasons. One, so you can see how other people do things, and two, because I mean, one, you can see how they do things and get good inspiration, but two, you can hopefully find mentors and or peers that you can go to with stuff like this. So overall, I think you're doing a great job. I don't recommend necessarily changing a lot of things with your assets or your channel. I think your production value, your audio mix, all that is good. I think it's really focusing on your engagement with your chat and having those good conversations, and then finding ways to share your content on other places, whether it is Twitter and Discord. Can maybe consider looking at places like Instagram or TikTok if you really get into the clipping stuff, because those go really well there. Discoverability on those platforms are fantastic for this sort of thing. But that's all I've got. I want to thank you, MrGn0me, for allowing me to review your channel. I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Everyone, you know, if you like what you saw today, consider following MrGn0me. He does Breath of the Wild challenge streams, and he streams, you know, on a regular basis through the week.